soils occupy approximately 40% of total land in India, and these are very fertile, and agriculturally they are most important, and also they support the large number of Indian population. As these are agriculturally important one, most of the agriculture in India is done on the soil. That's why it's supposed support majority of Indian population. Broadly speaking, it just divides into the three types of alluvial soils, just like one: deltaic alluvium, coastal alluvium, and inland alluvium. Deltaic alluvium found nearby deltas, coastal alluvium found nearby coastal areas, and inland alluvial mainly find out in interior part of India. Let's do try to check it out here. In North India, alluvial soil extensively tracts into the plains of Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, extending from Pakistan to Bangladesh, then to Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, and parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Bihar, and West Bengal. These are the states combining of alluvial soil. And the part of this inland alluvium in West Bengal and Odisha is also known as deltaic alluvium. Means, broadly speaking, we can just try to see here from eastern part to the western part. Little bit in this section, we do have the alluvial soil mostly present in northern plains of India. Now downside, if we come in the South India, there is a peninsular India. They are mainly confined to the river deltas on the east coast. Here we can check towards the east coast, we have some alluvial soil, and this is nearby peninsular India. So in the lower valleys of Narmada, Tapi, and southern Gujarat, alluvial soils of the coastal strips is porous, clay-like, and of dark color. Towards the western coast also, we can find out the some amount of alluvial soil nearby Tapi and Narmada rivers too. So the alluvial soil which finds nearby the coastal areas, east or west, these are porous and clay and little bit dark in color. It's because of lots of alluvium deposited in that area every year. So these soils are found in the depth of 500 meter. They are rich in potash, humus, and deficient in nitrogen and phosphorus. So this is the area in India where we can widely see the availability of alluvial soil. It covers approximately 40% land in India. We may have the question on what are the characteristics of this soil. So here, try to understand what are the characteristics of alluvial soil. The first one is it is a transported soil. Well said, because most of this river is which are helping to carry the alluvium from one place to another, and they make the alluvial soil. So this formation takes place from one place to another. So it is called as transported soil because most of the alluvium is transported by the rivers. These soils are also very coarse in upper valley regions, medium in middle part, and very fine or moist in the delta regions. It means on the slope of the mountain it is very rough. At the bottom or at the end of the mountain it's a little bit middle type, and at the delta regions it's very fine because most of the deposition work is done in that area only. And the alluvial soils are very greatly in textures from coarse to fine. Means the alluvial soil which found everywhere is not of same quantity and same quality. It just varies in its texture and its coarse also, which will be fine to very coarse. These soils are very rich in humus, potash, and lime. So agriculture it is the most. Some more characteristics of alluvial soil: it is mostly light to dark depending on the new or old alluvium. It is deficient in nitrogens and tends to be phosphoric. The depth of this soil is 500 meters, and they are suitable for Rabi and Kharif crop. Now, according to the formation and the types of alluvial soils can be categorized into Khadar and Bangar. Khadar is a new alluvial and Bangar is a old alluvial. And here in the diagram, we can just try to understand what are the Khadar and what are the Bangar. And at the same time, we can just try to take a look at about the alluvial soils found in North India and alluvial soils found in Peninsular India. Try to take a look at the table. It will help you a lot in order to understand more about alluvial soil. Let's try here which type of crops can be grown widely on this soil. So here we can grow Rabi and Kharif crop also, such as wheat, sugarcane, cotton, oilseeds. And if it is delta region, in delta region, jute is most probably or ideal for the cultivation in this soil. So these are some of the characteristics, the formations and the areas where we can mostly find it out the alluvial soil. I hope that you got some idea that why in these particular areas we have the alluvial soil. Black soil occupies approximately 16% of total land area of the country, and this black soil is also called by the name Regur. Now this Regur word has derived from the Telugu word that is Reguda, and this also known as the black cotton soil. So when the questions are asked, you can be prepared that what are the various names used for the black soil. Black soil is also called by the name Regur soil, and it is also called by the name black cotton soil. Now why it is called as the black cotton soil? Because cotton is the crop that thrives on this soil, means it is one of the best suitable soil for growing of cotton. Now while alluvial soils are the transported soil, black soil is called as residual soil. Try to understand the difference between these two types of soils. Transported soils, the soils which are formed by the erosion plays and which are generally formed by the rivers, because the alluvium is carried from one place to another and deposited at the another place, and there the new soil is formed, so it is called as transported soil, and that is alluvial. On the other hand, black soil is a residual soil. This means the soil which is formed at its original place without transporting from one place to another, formed at its origin place, just like black soil. So you will have 1-2 questions, name the transported soil or the residual soil. So you should try to memorize like that. Black soil is mainly found in Deccan Trap or the Deccan Plateau, and mostly it is formed by the denudation of lava flow rocks. The Deccan Plateau has been formed by the eruption of lava, and when the lava solidifies later on, this lava converted in black soil, and that's why it is called by the name residual soil. Then what are the characteristics of the black soils? Let's try to ponder upon the characteristics of black soil. It retains the moisture and it becomes sticky when it becomes wet, and it is because of what? The clay content which is in a good quantity. So this is the first characteristics, which gets lots of moisture once it becomes wet. While dry, they form the long and the deep cracks. When there is no water available in this black soil, the soil forms a very long and the deep cracks. This shows that the soil has become dried. Especially in summer season, we can find out like these conditions in black soil. It is rich in iron, then potash, calcium and magnesium. It is a black to chestnut brown color due to the presence of iron content. Now this soil covers the most of the Deccan Plateau, so it is not having the same color that is a black one. The color variation comes only because of what? The iron content in that. So the color varies from black to the chestnut brown. This soil is deficient in phosphorus and nitrogen and humus, and it can retain moisture for long durations, so artificial irrigation is not necessary. This is the best quality of the black soil, which can retain the moisture for a long period of time because of its good and the heavy clay content. So every time we need not to provide the artificial irrigation. One time full irrigations can provide the moisture for a longer period of time. So these are some of the characteristics of the black soil we can memorize or understand. Then which are the areas in India where we can find out this soil widely? This is mainly found in Deccan Plateau, and they are also found in the states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Western Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and parts of Tamil Nadu. So these are mostly the central areas of India. Speaking about the crops in the black soil, we have already discussed that it is very good one for the cultivation of cotton. But if we are just going to provide the good type of irrigation without fertilizer also, it can be the very good for cultivation of variety of crops, just like cotton, jowar, wheat, sugarcane, oil seeds, fruits and vegetables. So number of crops can be grown easily in the black soil. So how to study about the black soil? The origin, what type of soil it is, the characteristics, the deficiencies, and the crops grown in this soil. And at the same time, you should be focusing on the special did you know facts for the better understanding, and then we can be very perfect in writing the answers on. Next important soil found in India, that is a red soil. Look at the name, as the name suggests a red soil, so it can be the red soil, and it generally occupies the 10% land of India. So you may have the question that name the soil that covers this much percentage of land in India. 40% alluvial soil, 16% black soil, 10% red soil. Now these are generally formed by the breaking of the crystalline, igneous and the metamorphic rocks, and these rocks such as granite, gneiss in the peninsular plateau. So that is the difference in the formation of red soil. So red soil is formed by the breaking of metamorphic and igneous rocks. On the other hand, black soil is formed by the solidification of lava and breaking of that lava in a due course of time. Now these are mainly find it out the areas where there is very poor rainfall, and here in this soil we are having the mixture of clay and sand, means it's not in a proper proportion, also it is not in a very less quantity, so there can be difference into the presence of clay and sand in these areas, especially where there is a poor rainfall. Now the color of this one also changed, and mainly the red color is derived only because of the iron oxide present into the soil. So we can get this common question also, that how does the red soil get its red color? So the answer is what? It's because of iron oxide present in that. Black soil get its black color because of the presence of iron. So we have to be very objective in preparing such kind of questions based on to the soils and all the lessons. At some places their color is slightly changing from the brown to gray. It's depending on the parental rocks and climatic conditions prevails there. So red means it is not perfectly red. The color changes and varies according to the rocks and according to the climatic conditions. That is applicable for all the soils.